So this right here is the best unit that I've seen sell in LA for $1 million in the last 6 months.
If you're looking to buy in LA, you may have stumbled across these units that seem really nice and way underpriced. For example, this unit would normally sell for $1.2 million and just sold for right under $1 million. The reason being, this is a tenancy in common unit.
You just would never find anything like this that isn't a TIC for $1 million.
While it looks just like a condo, the style of ownership is technically different, and these units can be the best deal in LA, but there is sort of a catch. Today we're gonna get into everything about TICs, what you need to know, and if it's worth buying one.
By the way, if you are looking to buy or sell in the LA market, I am a real estate agent here in LA. I'll have my email on the screen and in the description box. Myself and the Realify team would love to talk to you about how we could help you.
So first of all, what exactly is a TIC and how is it different from a condo? So when you buy a condo, you are buying 100% ownership of your unit. You have your own parcel number, you pay your taxes separately from everyone else in the building. You typically have fee simple ownership of your unit. But TICs are different. You have shared ownership of the entire property, not just your unit, although you have exclusive use of your unit. So none of the other owners can come into your unit. And there's only one property tax bill that's split amongst the owners because it's technically one property with multiple units.
Basically, it's like buying a multifamily property with a group of strangers. You have your own unit, no one can come in your unit, and you can sell your unit at any time without having to get permission from the other owners. It has some major benefits, but there are also some drawbacks that we have to talk about.
So let's take a look at a real life TIC and the benefits of owning one.
So this is technically a multifamily property. You've got the top floor, there's a second floor, and then there's a back house.
The back house is 2 stories and detached from the rest of the property, but it's unique because it actually comes with an ADU right across from it that's within the other building. So this property has 3 owners that own a percentage of the total property, but because each unit is a little bit different, the ownership percentages are also different. Let's take a look inside the top floor unit that sold for just about $1 million. For context, in this part of LA, $1 million usually would not get you the top floor unit with this good of lighting. It opens up to this living area, it's got a balcony, and it's brand new construction, which is kind of rare in LA. There's not a lot of brand new condos like this. It's an open concept, so the living area goes right into the kitchen. And back over by the stairs, there's a landing area with a skylight. You've got the washer and dryer over here and the first full-size bathroom. Then heading down this hallway, you've got all of the bedrooms. Here's a look at the first bedroom. Great lighting because it's a top floor unit. And then down the hallway, you've got bedroom number 2. This one actually has an ensuite bathroom and it's really nicely done. It's got more modern finishes than other condos within this price range. Then we've got the third and final bedroom, which is a little bit bigger than the rest of the bedrooms. Again, this one has an ensuite bathroom. So this is a great unit. It's almost 1,500 square feet, 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom, top floor. That is a prime condo in my opinion.
So something like this, if it weren't a TIC but a traditional condo, would typically sell for about $1.2 million, maybe more, because you don't see a lot of new construction like this.
This is a comparable unit in a slightly better location. It's 3 bed, 3 bath, 1,500 square feet, but you'll see this one is quite a bit more expensive, in part because it's a condo. The other part being the better location. If it was where this TIC is, it would be closer to 1.2 or 1.3. So why do TICs even exist anyway? Like, why does a developer not just make it a condo?
Basically, a TIC is a faster and less expensive way to convert an old apartment building into individual units for resale. If you were to convert a building like this into a condo, it could take years to get the city approval. There's a lot more red tape, and time is money. It's more expensive for developers. So this makes it more affordable to buy actually really nice units in LA. TICs tend to be new construction or architectural buildings that are recently renovated and look really nice. Every time I see a TIC listing, I'm like, I would live there. They're really, really cool. Let's talk about the benefits of TICs. Obviously, the main one is the price is always lower.
They're generally 10 to 20% less expensive than comparable condos. That back house unit with the ADU sold for $870,000. I mean, you would never see that price if it wasn't a TIC. Here's a look inside this one. You can see the main back house is actually 2 stories. It's got 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, so it's pretty big and it feels more like a townhouse. And then it comes with that little ADU across the way, which is basically a room with a kitchenette and another bathroom. So it's essentially 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms for $870,000. So overall, the purchase price is always lower with TICs. And because of that, you get another benefit, which is lower property taxes. Because this unit sold for just about $1 million, the property taxes would be about $1,000 a month. But if it was a condo, it would sell for a bit more and the property taxes would also be higher, likely about $1,200 a month. And the third benefit, the HOA dues are typically lower than condos. TICs tend to be smaller buildings, 8 units or less, and the HOAs are typically less than $300 a month, and they cover home insurance.
Condos in LA though, it's hard to find an HOA under $500 a month. The condo I made a video about last month had a $700 a month HOA.
So the overall monthly cost could be a lot lower than a similar condo. So this all sounds great, but I mean, why are they cheaper? There's gotta be something up with them, right? I talked to the listing agent of this TIC development about the qualms people typically have with TICs. The first reason some people shy away from TICs is the financing options are stricter and more limited. And in the past, you could only get an adjustable rate mortgage for a TIC, but that actually has changed now.
So what are you saying now with getting a loan for a TIC?
The TIC loans are really similar to what you're going to see on the market with anything else. You can get a 30-year fixed rate. And it was about 3 years ago that the fractional lenders started offering 30-year fixed rate mortgages.
And then it's a slightly higher interest rate typically.
So it depends on a couple of different factors. At this moment, we have 2 fractional lenders in Southern California.
Only having 2 lenders really limits you when it comes to shopping around and getting the best interest rate.
And while with a traditional home purchase, you can put down as low as 3%, the lenders for TICs are much more strict on this.
One of them, NCB, buyers have to have 20% down, or excuse me, 25% down payment, 720 credit score, 2 years tax returns, but their 30-year fixed as of today is 7.25%, which is about the same as a condo.
Because the down payment requirements are higher, in some cases you may actually need more upfront cash to buy a TIC than you would a condo.
And then we have another lender, Fifth Street. They can do as low as 15% down. They can do a slightly lower credit score, but their rates are higher. Their rates are about 8%.
The other drawback is there can sometimes be limitations on if you want to rent out your unit. With a condo, there can be limitations as well. A lot of condos will cap the number of units that are allowed to be leased out. Now, most of the TIC agreements do allow you to rent out your unit, but where there can be restrictions is with the city. And it usually depends on what year the property was built and if it had rent control restrictions before being turned into a TIC. Now, with this new construction property that we showed in the video, they likely can rent out their units if they want to because it's never had any rent control in the past.
But these TICs that are cool architectural buildings, they're a lot older. And there's a higher chance that there used to be rent-controlled tenants in there in the past.
In California, there's something called the Ellis Act.
This allows landlords to evict tenants if they take the rental property off the rental market, which is usually what they'll have to do if they want to sell the units as a TIC. But if that unit gets put back on the rental market, even if it has a new owner, those rent control restrictions are still in place.
The old rent-controlled tenants legally have the right to move back in at their rent-controlled price. So you would definitely be losing money. This obviously isn't as much of an issue with new construction because there's never been any previous tenants to that unit. But if you're looking at one of those cool architectural TICs, this is something you need to know, and you'd probably want to be buying it with the intention that you want to live in it and you're never going to rent it out.
So this is actually a good thing for the people that do want to live in these because it detracts investors from being interested in them, so the price is lower.
The biggest drawback when it comes to TICs is potential for legal issues.
Most of these risks are mitigated by an agreement that's put together for the TIC community, but there are some potential for issues because there's only one property tax bill.
Now there's something here called a legal tenancy in common agreement. It's like CC&Rs for a condo. It outlines a couple of things about property taxes. One, each owner is responsible only for their portion of the property taxes. Property taxes in the state of California are due twice a year, but the TIC agreement mandates that every single owner has to pay their property taxes on a monthly prorated basis. Every TIC community that we put together, we include in the HOA dues money for a third-party financial management company who specializes in TICs.
So each owner has to pay their share of the property taxes each month.
So in theory, really no one should be defaulting on their property taxes, but what if it did happen?
Per the TIC agreement, if an owner does not pay their property taxes, their prorated property taxes for 1 month, or their HOA dues for 1 month, the rest of the HOA owners could do a legal forced foreclosure on that owner. So they do have the legal right to do that.
They wouldn't be stuck paying their property taxes, but you could end up dealing with a lawsuit, which would be kind of annoying. There's
That's
some
right.
risk to that.
Since there is a TIC agreement in place making that owner responsible to pay their property taxes, the other owners should be able to get that money. But what if the person goes bankrupt? What if they can't pay? Then you've got a lawsuit you're dealing with, legal fees. It's a headache, and it's not something that anyone wants to deal with. Something that if you were buying a condo, you would not run into because everyone pays their own property tax bill separately.
And while it's unlikely for this to happen because they really do set these up for success by having strict financing, you've got to have a good credit score, and by having a TIC agreement in place and a financial management company making sure everyone's paying each month. But there still is that risk there, that worst case scenario potential.
Another important factor is how it does as an overall investment. How do these TICs appreciate?
What have you seen over the years with TICs and how they appreciate?
Sure. TICs follow the rest of the market. The market goes down a little bit, TICs go down a little bit. We have some really good examples of some fantastic resales. There is one woman who she bought her TIC in Echo Park in 2019 for $725, and we just did a resale this summer for over $1 million. So she did fantastic with hers.
This one appreciated about 6% a year, which is higher than the average for condos in LA. And that's likely because it lives more like a single family house in the hills. It's just a great unit overall. It's likely not all TICs appreciate this well, but it's cool to see that this one did.
Overall, there just really isn't enough data to see how they appreciate, but it's likely that they appreciate similarly to a condo, not as good as a single family house, but probably on par with the condo market. So that is a little bit about TICs, and now when you're scrolling on Zillow, you're gonna know why they're a little less expensive than similar condos. If you look around on Reddit, you can see there are plenty of people who have purchased TICs and they say it's similar to just owning a condo. However, I have seen some horror stories too. I think it really depends on each property and really if there's a good TIC agreement in place. That's the main thing to look out for if you're interested in buying a TIC, is looking at that TIC agreement and what all it entails. Okay, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and learning about TICs. Again, I'm a real estate agent in LA. If you're looking to buy or sell, I'll have my email down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.